Hi everyone, so how are you all? So today in this video we'll be solving SAT problems of advanced math. So without wasting your time, let's start with the first problem. So we are given here that there's a rectangle has a length that is 15 times its width, and the function y equal 15w times w represents the situation where y is the area in square feet of the rectangle and y is greater than 0. So the following is the best interpretation of 15w. So that's a very simple question. So we can see here, we need to find the final question here is to figure out the best interpretation of 15w. And in question, it's given that length is 15 times the width. So if I consider the width to be w, then length will be 15 times of w. So how do we find area of a rectangle? L times width. So here this 15w is representing the length, and this is the width. So let's read the options. The length of the rectangle. Yeah, so the first option will be correct. We don't have to read the other ones. So this is one very simple question which hardly takes 10 seconds to figure out. Let's move to the next question. So in this problem we are given the given equation relates the distinct positive numbers v, w, x. Which equation correctly express w in terms of v and x? So we just need to rearrange this and write this w in terms of v and x. So we can bring this 150 to this side. So negative w will be 150 times of xv. When you transpose, this denominator will come to this numerator. And when you bring this negative to the other side, this will be negative 150 times of xv. So let's see, do we have it here? Yeah, option A will be correct. So another simple problem that hardly takes 10 seconds. Now we have this problem, which expression is equivalent to. So we just need to use the law of exponents to figure out this. Let's collect the same base. You have m to the power 4 and m. So we know that if you have something like x to the power m multiplied with x to the power n, the exponents will be added provided that the base is same. So if you do the same thing here, the exponent is 1, 4 plus 1 will be 5. So you don't even have to do it further. You can see here, only option having 5 is B. All other can simply be eliminated. So that was another simple problem. Let's have a look at this one. So we can see here we are given this graph, a straight line and a parabola. They're intersecting at 2 points. So a system of equations consists of a quadratic equation and a linear equation. The equations in the system are graphed in the xy plane. How many solutions does this have? The number of solutions will be equal to the number of points of intersection. So these 2 points are common to both the straight line and the parabola. It means that it will be having 2 solutions. Let's see this one. So we are given that 6x minus 9y is greater than 12. So the following inequalities is equivalent to the inequality above. So if we just try factoring it out, 6x minus 9y greater than 12. So 3 is a common factor of 6 and 9. So I can write it this way. 3 times 2x minus 3y greater than 3 times 4. This 12 can be written as 3 times 4. So dividing both the sides by 3, I'll be left with that 2x minus 3y is greater than 4. So do we have something like that? Yeah, so if you see, option B will be correct for this. Okay. In this question, we are given y equal x plus 1, a linear equation, x square plus x a quadratic. X comma y is a solution to the system of equation above. Which of the following could be the value of x? So for this problem, we have 2 ways. Either we can solve it algebraically or using Desmos. So let's try using Desmos for this. So the first equation is x plus 1. And second one is x square plus 1. So x square plus x. We just need to see the points of intersection. So if we just observe this, we have one of the point is -1, another point is 1. So -1 and 1 both will satisfy. But we just have one of the value of x, that is -1. So -1 will be the correct answer. Now which expression is equivalent to this. So in this problem, either we can solve it algebraically, or we can do one thing, we can plug in some values of x and y and check. Let's go with the conventional way of solving. So we have x, y in both the terms, and 2 can also be taken common. So you can bring this 2x out, 2xy. So from this x cube, one x has been taken out. So you will be left with x square. From this y square, one y has been taken. So you'll be left with y. And 1 8 will be there. And this 14xy has been taken common. You will be left with this. So the equivalent expression will be 2xy, 8x squared y plus 7. So it's going to be b. Which of the following is a factor of this polynomial above? So we need to factorize this. Now, if you observe this 4a square is actually square of 2a, and this 25b square is square of 5b. And this middle term is product of twice of product of the first and this last term. So twice of 2a and 5b. So this is actually of the form a square plus 2 times of a times b plus b square. And that further reduces to a plus b whole square. So this is actually a perfect square where a is 2a and b is 5b. So this becomes 2a plus 5b whole square. It means one of the factor will be 2a plus 5b, and other factor will also be the same thing. So 2a plus 5b will be our answer. Okay, so now in this problem, we have p equal 3x plus 4, b equal x plus 5, and we need to figure out the value of this thing over here. So instead of doing it the conventional way where you plug in p as 3x plus 4 and v as x plus 5 and simplify and then check which is correct, we'll be using plugging in. So what we'll do, we'll replace this x with some constant, and usually we take some value of x that will be easy to work with. So we can take it 0. There is no condition over x, so we can take it anything. Let's replace this x with 0. So 3 into 0 is 0 plus 4 will be giving you 4. Let's do the same thing with v. So v is x plus 5. So replacing x with 0, we are getting 5. Now it will be easy to work with 4 and 5 instead of this algebraic thing 3x plus 4 and x plus 5. So the thing that we need to find is, let's write that we need pv minus 2 times p plus v. So p is 4 and v is 5, minus 2 times the value of p is 4 and the value of v is 5. So 4 times 5 is 20 minus 8 plus 5. 20 minus 8 is 12. 12 plus 5 will be 17. So we are getting 17. When do we get 17? When x is 0. So I should be getting the same thing in the options. If I replace x with 0, I should be left with 17. So when you replace x with 0, all the terms having x will disappear. This will become 0. You'll be left with 7. So this cannot be my answer. This will become 0. I'll be left with 17. So this can be my answer. And no other option will be giving you 17. So B will be the correct answer then. So you can see we can save our time by using this method of solving. Okay, so now we are given this quadratic x square minus x minus 1. What values satisfy the equation above? So we can see that the options that were given, we have radicals, we have whole numbers, fractions. So let's try A if that works or not. So we can plug in x as 1. So square of 1 minus 1 minus 1. Square of 1 is 1, minus 1 minus 1. So that is negative 1. It's not equal to 0. It means A cannot be correct. So I can eliminate this. We can do the same thing with B. But to get C or D, we'll have to either use quadratic formula or we can also go with Desmos. So let's try using Desmos for this. So you have x square minus x minus 1. So let's plot it on Desmos. So x square minus x minus 1. This is what we're getting. One of the root is negative 0.6, another root is 1.6. So we can see that it cannot be then b, because negative half is negative 0.5 and 3 by 2 is 1.5. So even b can be eliminated. We are left with c or d. But we have this in the radical form and their answer is in decimal. We can use Desmos again to see what will be the decimal equivalent of this thing over here. So let's try to plug it. So we have 1 plus. Now to type square root, either you can use this buttons over here, or you can simply write sqrt. That will also make it square root 5, and this entire thing is to be divided, so I'll keep this bracket over here and we'll divide it by 2. So we are getting 1.6. Do we have as, yeah, 1.61 is one of the root. Okay, so 1 plus root 5, so it means c will be correct then, because no other option is having 1 plus root 5 by 2. So I don't even have to check this, and no, we need to plug in this. So simply c is going to be the correct one. Other method for this question is to use the quadratic formula. So quadratic formula is negative b plus minus root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. That will also give you the correct answer. So what is the value of b here? So for that we need to identify a, b and c. So a is 1, b is negative 1, and c is also negative 1. So negative of negative b, negative of negative 1, plus minus root of b square. B square will be negative 1 square minus 4 times a is 1 and c is negative 1, divided by 2 times of a, 2 times 1. Now negative of negative 1 is 1, plus minus root of 1, negative 4 into negative 1 will be positive 4 divided by 2. So what we're getting is 1 plus minus is square root 5 divided by 2. So it has to be c. But still we can see that Desmos method takes less time than this. So the next problem that we have is 3x squared minus 15x plus 18 is equal to 0. How many distinct real solutions are there? So again, let's simply move to Desmos. So you have 3x squared minus 15x plus 18, and you can see this parabola is intersecting the x-axis at 2 distinct points. So we have 2 solutions in this case. So exactly 2 will be correct. Okay, so now we have the product of 2 positive integers is 462. Okay, the first integer is 5 greater than twice the second. So we have 2 integers here. Let's say one of the integer is x. So other integer will be 5 greater than twice the second. So I'll double this integer first, 2x, and then make it 5 greater. To make it 5 greater, you need to add 5. So these are the 2 integers, and these 2 integers multiply to give 462. So now to solve this equation, I'll again move to Desmos. So we have x times 2x plus 5, and that equals 462. So you will be getting these vertical lines. These vertical lines represent our x values that will satisfy. So x equal 14 and x equal negative 16.5. But the question says that positive integer. So positive integer will be just 14. Negative 16.5 is the invalid answer as per the question's condition. So it should be 14. And they're asking for the smaller one. So yeah, it's 14 then. Okay, now we have this problem. We are given that there is a function g of x defined as absolute value of x over a minus 14, and a is given as less than 0. What is the product of 15 g of 15a and g of 7a? So if a is less than 0, what we can do? We can take a to be some negative number. So let's take a as negative 1. So our function g of x then become absolute value of x divided by negative 1 minus 14. So that is absolute value of x when you divide it by negative 1, it will be negative minus 14. So we have our function now, and g of 15a, a is negative 1, so basically we need to find g of negative 15 into g of negative 7. When I plug in a as negative 1, I'll be just left with this. So again, now I can define our function here. So we have g of x equal negative absolute value of x. Okay, so let's put it. Absolute value of x here will be, and what was there? I think it was 14. Yeah, negative absolute value of x minus 14. So we have defined our function. Now what do we want? We want g of negative 15, and we want it to be multiplied with g of negative 7. So that gives you 609. So 609 will be our final answer. Okay, let's have a look at this problem. So we are given some graph here. Let's read the question. So the graph gives the estimated value in dollars of a tablet as a function of the number of months since it was published. What is the best interpretation of the y-intercept? Okay, so as the number of months are passing, we can see that the value of the tablet is decreasing. Initially, when it was latest one, so the price was the highest, and then it kept on reducing. So what does the y-intercept represent? Y-intercept is this point over here. So number of months 0, it means in the beginning when it was launched, the price was highest, and this is 225. Let's see what options there. The estimated value of the tablet was when it was purchased. Yeah, in the beginning. Right, so it has to be A then. We can just have a look at the other options. 24 months after, no, it cannot be correct. Has decreased by this much, that won't be correct. Yeah, all other three are clearly incorrect. So A will be the correct answer. Which of the following is equivalent to this? So x plus 5, that's a very simple question. X and 2x will add up to be 3x, and 5 minus 3 will add up to be 2. So 3x plus 2, we have B. Okay, that question students usually find a little tricky. So we have here the table shows 3 values of x and their corresponding values of g of x. So what we are given is x and g of x, and we are given some relation between g of x and f of x. F is a linear function. What is the y-intercept of the graph of f of x? So they're asking the y-intercept of f of x. So let's first see what f of x is in terms of g of x. So we are given that f of x is equal to over x plus 3 is equal to g of x. So I can find f of x from here. F of x will be x plus 3 times g of x. So using this, I can find the corresponding values of f of x. So negative 27, if you add negative 27 with 3 and then multiply with g of x, which is 3, so you'll be getting negative 24 into 3, negative 72. So this gives negative 72. Negative 9 plus 3, f of negative 9 will be negative 9 plus 3 times 0. Anything times 0 will be 0 only. As it is given that this is a linear function, it's going to be a straight line, and for a straight line we don't require 3 points, we just 2 points will be more than sufficient. So now again we'll be moving to decimals, and let's make a table over here. So to make a table, you can type table. Now we'll just put these coordinates of x and f of x. Negative 27 gives negative 72. Negative 27 gives negative 72, and other point was negative 9, that gives 0. Now we want it to be a linear function, so we'll add this regression, and linear regression, it will be giving you 4x plus 36. So it is of the form mx plus b, where m4 is the slope and 36 is the y-intercept. The question was asking y-intercept, so it's going to be 0, 36. Okay, let's try this one. Which expression will be equivalent to this? So in this problem, if you see, you have x minus 7 and x minus 7. So in the denominator also, if you observe, there is one x minus 7. So from the numerator, I can bring this x minus 7 out, and I'll be left with 8x minus 3. if you factor it out this way. And in denominator, it will be 2 times of x minus 7. This x minus 7 gets cancelled. I am just left with 8x minus 3 divided by 2. So where do we have that? We have it here. So B will be correct. Okay, let's try this. So x equal 49 and y equal root of x plus 9, two equations are given. The graph of the equation intersect at x comma y. What is the value of y? Okay, so we are given x equal 49, so we can plug it in here. So y equal root of 49 plus 9. Root of 49, 49 is a perfect square. It's going to be 7. 7 plus 9 will be 16. So that was another simple problem. Okay, so here we are given this function h of x, 2 times x minus 4 whole square minus 32. The quadratic equation h is defined as shown. In the xy plane, the graph of y equal h of x intersect x-axis at 2 points, 0, 0 and t, 0. So they are actually asking for the graph will look something like this, and they have given two of the points, 0, 0. One of the root is 0, 0. It should be passing through the origin then, and other root will be somewhere either positive, negative. So we don't need to think much. We simply will plot it on Desmos and see what are the roots. So we have 2x minus 4 and whole square minus 32. So 0, 0 and 8, 0 is what we're getting. So it means this root is 8, 0. So value of t will be equal to 8. So College Board mentioned this as a difficult problem, but you can see the problem is not difficult at all. It hardly takes 10 seconds using Desmos to solve this. Even if you go with the algebraic method, it won't take more than 30 seconds. Okay, so we'll be taking this as the last problem. So we are given this graph over here. The graph is translated up by 4 units. What will be the resulting graph? When you translate up by 4 units, this vertex will go here. It should be at 2, 2 then. So let's use this information. Okay, the first one appears to be correct. The second isn't. The third isn't. Okay, that's very simple. That's very simple. It's clearly visible that A is going to be our correct answer. So here we'll end this. You can see that the problems were not that difficult. Even the problems that are marked as difficult, they were also simpler ones. Okay, so this is all.